There's a question I missed from the previous session. I don't know if the one who asked a question can still ask it, so I can pick it up from there. Though I may not be able to draw the same data set since this is a new Zoom video. Okay, however, we can proceed. So let's go to grouped data.
Sorry, question.
Yes, please.
Can you be asked to find the range in the ungrouped data?
The range, no, you cannot be asked to find, or as in the range. Yes, the range you can be asked. You remember the basics you did, I did not get 12. How do you find the range? You mean for ungrouped data, you just get the difference between the highest and the least variable.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you can still find the range.
Was asking, and it also my concern on the issue of the data. If we use that way, aren't you supposed to, on top there, on the numerator of the formula of the mean, aren't you supposed to sum up the product of the frequency and the each data set, like over the frequency?
Okay, so you get the product. Okay, yeah, I get that point. Okay, so let's have the data. Let's pick it up from there. So we have the data here. So we have 1, 1, 1, and then we have 2, 2, 2, 2. Then what else? We have the 3. 3, there were 2. And then 4 was 1, 5 was 1, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, this was our data, isn't it? And then we add drawn a table. We had drawn a table. So we had the data, which is just xi. Then we have the tari. Then we have the frequency. The frequency. So the column that we need to have is the product, isn't it? Like this, eh? The product. Okay.
So this is for grouped data or ungrouped data?
This is for ungrouped data. So they were asking that we need to have this column, isn't it? That was the question?
Sir, this is when I've logged in.
Okay, we're answering somebody's question. So let that person confirm. Were you talking about this? Okay, we've lost that question. Let's proceed to the grouped data so that we save time. So when you have grouped data, you can be given some data in the form, you have maybe some class intervals, 45 to 49, then 50 to 59, 60 to 69. Okay, let's try to reduce this. So we get 50 to 54, then 55 to 59, then 60 to 64, then 65 to 269, 70,
Iwe tatulevo kumvoforera ndayo.
so
Ruth reke chongo.
so the next is 70 to 74, then 75 to 79, and 80 to 84. So these are class intervals. So we have class interval. Then the next column can be the MIDI class value. MIDI class value. Now, in this case, because we have grouped the data, so the MIDI class value will be our XI. And then we get the frequency. We get FIs. Then we get the cumulative frequency. We can include this column. Then the next, we can also include the column of the product Fi times Xi. Then the last column is the product of Fi Xi squared. Xi squared. Okay, so now we've got our table. Okay, so let's get now the summations, and you finish filling the table. The middle class here is 47, followed by 52, followed by 57, followed by 62, followed by 67, followed by 72, followed by 77, followed by 82. Then their frequencies are given. So in the question, they will just give you two columns. They'll give you the column of the class interval and the column of the frequencies. So when you begin answering the questions, you need to complete the table in the same manner you're doing. So you're just given the two columns, the class intervals and the frequency. Okay, so the frequencies we have two.
So how did you find those numbers?
Which number?
47,
Okay.
47, 52, 52.
So we found these numbers by getting the middle number from 50 to 54. The number in between, the middle number is that one.
Sir, and what if there's no middle number?
It always has to be there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it
We
always
got it by adding those two numbers and dividing by 2, right?
So that's one way you can get the number. You add the lower limit and the upper limit, then you divide by 2. Then you've got a 4, you've got a 9, again a 9, then a 3, and a 4. Now the cumulative frequency, you pick the frequency of the first one, then you keep on adding. These 2 plus the next 3 gives you the 5, which will be there. And so you get a 5 there. When you add you get 11. When you add 6, you add 4, you get 15. When you add the 9, you get 24. When you add the 9, you get 33. You add the next number, you get 36. You add the last number, you get 40. Let's get now the product. The product of the xi, which are the middle class values, and the frequency. So multiplying the two, you get what to write there. So here, when we do that, we're getting 156, 342, 248. So then we get 603, 648, then 231, 328. There must be a value that we have missed here. Let's do the multiplication proper.
Write it as this.
So 156, then 342, followed by 248, then 603,
Drop negative.
then 648,
And then
followed by 231,
comes negative 2.
then 328.
So how? Yes.
Okay, which product
So
are we
this one,
missing?
one sort of fit. Plus
So
theta over theta.
So which numbers are you multiplying
This
there?
theta.
so we are multiplying these numbers.
This theta.
So
Which
this
one?
this times this gives us 94, isn't it?
Then
This times this gives us
Yes.
94. So we write the 94 there. Then we go to the next one. This times this times this gives us what?
Just to go to the first.
Gives us 1,
So that it
5,
goes
6.
to the upper,
So
then
we do the same
as if it's
in the
So
next one. We get 3, 4,
theta
2.
is the same as
Then
the
we
ten
get 2, 4, 8. Then we get
But in
603. And we get
over
6, 4, 8.
So meaning
We
that
get
the
2, 3, 1. We get
this will
the last
differentiate
one, 2,
this theta,
3, 2, 8.
this theta
Then we
over
get the
this theta.
product in the last column. It's the product of f with the frequency times the square of x.
So then if
So you'll be
write it
squaring
back,
x.
it will
When you
be
square 8, x you multiply by the frequency. You
negative
get the numbers to fit in the last column.
log
So in the
theta
last column
plus
there,
1 over
we
10
get 4,
over
418,
theta. So
then
theta
8,
squared
1, 1, 2, then 1, 9, 4, 9, 4, then 1, 5.
Because you have to change from
1,
base 10.
5,
So how are you getting the answers in the last column?
1, 5, 6. So we are saying that we get the answers. You get this number, you square it. Since it is x squared here, so you get 47 squared times the frequency. When you square 47, you multiply by the frequency 2, you get this value. When you square 52, then the answer that you get multiplied by 3, you get that number. So that's how we're getting those numbers. So we
Thank you,
have
sir.
40, 401, then 4, 6, 6, 5, 6, 177, 8, 7, then 2, 6, 8, 9, 6. So let's get the totals. You get the totals of the frequency, f of a summation of f4i. This gives you the total 40. Then you also get the sum of the products, fxi. So you get summation of fi xi. Fi xi, this gives you This gives you 2,650. Okay, so we get the summation in the last column of Fi xi squared. So this gives us 179,140. So that's what you get. So after filling in the table, now you can answer the questions that have been asked. So find the mean. Find A, the mean. B, on B, let's have the median class interval. Median class interval. Then C, we can find the median itself. Okay, then D, we can get the variance. And lastly, on E, we can get the standard deviation. So let's answer these questions. For the mean, you have mean which is equal to x bar. Yes, please. What's the question? Your network is breaking. I can't hear you.
Previous slide. One issue. The previous slide.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so your mean will be given by that formula. And so the sum of the product from the table, you have 2,650. And then the sum of Fi gives you 40. So when you divide, you're going to get this as your mean. And then you get the median class interval. Median class interval. So the median class interval is just the interval where the median falls. So let's get back to the table.
Good night, thank you.
So let's look at the frequencies. Since we have 40 data set, the numbers that we have are 40 according to N. Note that summation of Fi gives us NN. You note that. Note N is simply equal to summation of Fi. So the data set we have is 40. So now, since we have got 40 numbers, in which interval will the median fall or lie? So let's keep on adding. If we add this plus this plus this, plus that, plus that, what do we get? Let's go on the cumulative to get this sum. We're adding the first 1, 2, 3. If we add these numbers, we're getting the sum as 15, isn't it? We're getting 15 as the sum. So now, out of 40, we expect that the middle number falls into this interval, isn't it? If we're to add from 15, we add the next one. The middle value will fall into this. the median falls into this interval. If we're to get the sums from the bottom, we keep adding this plus this plus this plus this. So you still observe that the median will fall into this interval. So that is the interval where the median class falls. So we are saying that our median class falls into.
May you please explain again? I don't understand.
Okay.
I also don't get how you're finding that.
Okay. So,
Neither do I.
so we want to find the class where the median lies, and we want to find the class where the median lies. Now, we've got 20 numbers. Remember from the ungrouped data, we're able to count to get a median. We're able to count, for instance, if you have these numbers, if you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, how many are they? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can add the last one, which is 7. So if these are your numbers and you want to find the median, how many numbers do you have? There are 7, right? So meaning, how do you find the one in between? Since the numbers are 7, so you are going to count from the beginning. You count the first 3, isn't it? You count the first 1, 2, 3, since the numbers are 7. So you have counted the first 3 in this manner, going that far end. Then we can also count from the far end, you count 3. From the far end, when you count 3, you have 1, 2, 3, isn't it? So you have okay, so you have this, you have that. So you observe that your median is simply the number in between, which is fine. So now for grouped data, we'll do the same. Since the numbers are 40, meaning we need to count from the beginning. We need to count from the beginning. How many numbers should we count? If the numbers are 40, it means we need to count 19, right? 19 from, we need to have 19 numbers from the beginning up to somewhere midway, halfway. Then we also need to count 19 numbers from the bottom line. Since all the numbers are 40. So where will 19 fall? Okay, we need to have 19. We need to have 19 numbers from this side. We also need to have 19 numbers the other side, so that the one that remains in between is the median, isn't it? So this gives us the median. So let's now do the counting. So if we count, if we add, we have what, this plus this plus this plus this. Adding the frequencies implies we're counting those numbers, isn't it? It means we're counting those numbers. So we have, in the first class, we have 2 numbers. In the second class, we've got 3 numbers. So when we add the first 2, already we have 5 numbers, isn't it? We add the next one, we get 11 numbers. Now, we add the other one. This gives us what? When we add the next number, we expect that the 19th number will fall into this class interval. The 19th number will fall into this class interval. If we count from the bottom, this plus this plus this, we need to count 19 of them. So observe that if we count from the bottom, from this, then plus that, and plus that. So the median will fall into this interval. So this is the class where the median falls. And so we say the median class interval is simply 65 to 69. 65 to 69. So that's how you get the median class. Now that you have found the median class, let us find the median itself. So the median will be found by, we have L plus any. Now in this case, we know that any simply implies the summation of F4, then over 2 minus the cumulative frequency divided by F4, then by H. Eh? So good. Okay, power has gone. Let's rejoin.